Hello student, I am Dr. B.K. Bru from Medco Point Patna, and the today class is related to the function of kidney and counter current hypothesis. So the function of kidney is mainly three, or the mainly urine formation takes place by the three process. So the first process is called ultrafiltration, and second is called tubular reabsorption, and third is selective secretion. So the during ultrafiltration, the first process ultrafiltration or glomerular filtration. So this ultrafiltration or glomerular filtration mainly takes place with the help of glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. So there is a three membrane that is called filtration membrane. So this filtration membrane consists three structure. First is called endothelium of the blood vessel, and second is called epithelial layer of the Bowman's capsule, and third that is present between two, that is basement membrane. So the ultrafiltration mainly takes place with the help of afferent and efferent arterioles having the different diameter. So the afferent arteriole has larger diameter, efferent arteriole has smaller diameter. So due to the difference in diameter, ultrafiltration takes place or filtration takes place. Ultrafiltration or nephric filtration. And second process is called tubular reabsorption. So the tubular reabsorption mainly takes place in four structure. First is called PCT, and second that is loop of Henle, and third DCT, and then CD, collecting duct. So during the selective reabsorption, first PCT means maximum reabsorption takes place in PCT around 70 to 80%, such as glucose, amino acid, sodium ions. These are reabsorbed with the help of active transport. But other ions such as chloride ion, bicarbonate ion, water reabsorption, these takes place with the help of passive transport. So the reabsorption in PCT takes place both active and passive transport. And maximum glucose, amino acid and sodium ion reabsorb. In loop of Henle, minimum reabsorption takes place. So the counter current hypothesis takes place in the loop of Henle, and it maintains the osmolytes, that is 300 milliosmol per liter to 1200 milliosmol per liter. So the counter current hypothesis takes place in the loop of Henle, and Vasarecti is responsible. So the minimum ultrafiltration takes place in loop of Henle, and in DCT and CD reabsorption takes place. In DCT reabsorption mainly some water or bicarbonate ion, potassium ion takes place with the help of aldosterone hormones and ADH. So the in DCT, that is the selective reabsorption takes place in DCT, and in collecting duct reabsorption of water mainly and sodium ion mainly takes place. And next is called selective secretion. Actually, secretion mainly takes place in desert amphibians where glomerulus is absent. But human being, the selective secretion also takes place mainly in PCT and DCT and collecting duct. In PCT or DCT and collecting duct, mainly selective secretion of hydrogen ion, potassium ion and ammonia. Mainly three: sodium, hydrogen, potassium and ammonia in PCT, DCT and collecting duct. And some amount of drugs, hypuric acid, creatinine, toxic substance, also selective secretion takes place in the collecting duct and DCT. This is called counter current hypothesis. So what is counter current hypothesis? So the two organs is responsible for counter current hypothesis. First is called Vassar-Ekti and loop of Henle. And the counter current means the direction is different. So the direction in the loop of Henle in the descending limb and ascending limb in opposite direction. And the direction of Vassar-Ekti in descending part and ascending part is also different. So with respect to the descending limb of loop of Henle and ascending loop of Henle, the direction is opposite. Such as in ascending loop of Henle, direction is upward. And descending part of Vassar-Ekti, direction is downward. And descending loop of Henle, direction is downward. And this part, direction is upward. So the due to direction opposite in the Vassar-Ekti and loop of Henle, ascending and descending, so name is called counter current pattern. And the two organs is responsible. One is the blood vessel, that is Vassar-Ekti, which form peritubular capillary near the loop of Henle. And second organ is loop of Henle. So loop of Henle is the renal tubules and Vassar-Ekti is a blood vessel which is attached with the loop of Henle. So this loop of Henle and Vassar-Ekti is well developed in juxtamedullary nephron, not in cortical nephron. So this takes place in the juxtamedullary nephron, which is 20% of the whole nephron. So the two organs, Vassar-Ekti and loop of Henle, is responsible during counter current hypothesis. And second is two osmolytes. First is NaCl and urea. And two concentration. First concentration present in the cortex region, that is 300 milliosmol per liter. And it converted into, in inner medulla, 1200 milliosmol per liter. So the concentration is 4 times more. So urine becomes 4 times more concentrated with respect to 300 milliosmol in the cortex. And in medulla, inner medulla, that is 1200 milliosmol per liter. So the initial 300 converted into 4, then 600, 900, 1200. And again in this descending limb. And in ascending limb, 900, 6, 400, 300, 200. And in DCT, 200, then 300, 400, 600, 900, 1200. So these are the conversion of 300 milliosmol into 1200 milliosmol. And the Vassar-Ekti also, there is a 300, then 400, 600, 800, 1000, then 12, and then 1000, 800, 600, 400, 300 during this direction. So 300 milliosmol converted into 1200 milliosmol per liter. And second is NaCl. So NaCl transported from the ascending loop of Henle to the Vassar-Ekti, descending part of Vassar-Ekti. So the ascending loop of Henle consists NaCl, and these NaCl present in medullary fluid and then converted into the ascending part of the Vassar-Ekti. And that same time urea releases from the collecting duct, and these urea enter into medullary fluid and then enter into the ascending loop of Henle, and it maintains the concentration. So who is responsible for maintaining this concentration? First is urea and second is NaCl. NaCl transport from the collecting duct to the loop of Henle, ascending part of loop of Henle, and the NaCl from ascending part of loop of Henle converted enter into the Vassar-Ekti and descending part of Vassar-Ekti. And at the same time, ascending part of Vassar-Ekti, NaCl releases in the medullary fluid. So these NaCl and urea is responsible for osmolytes, and it maintains the concentration 4 times urine more concentrated with respect to cortex region. So this is counter current mechanism. Thank you.